Once again, some shit happened and I'm doing a video early, okay? Just leave it, alright? Hello and welcome to Keep a Vegan. My name's Ben, and today I have some sad news to bear. Today, long-time vegan and probably one of the most well-known animal activists in the world, Gary Yourofsky, has announced his retirement from activism. Yourofsky, widely known amongst vegans in no small part due to his famous vegan speech, which he delivered at a number of universities over a period of years, made the announcement on his Facebook page under the title, Tag You're It. For those of you who don't know who we're talking about, Gary Yourofsky is a Michigan-born activist who started his journey after encountering some elephants behind the scenes in a circus. Seeing the suffering these animals were going through started him on his journey, opened his eyes and set him on a path to 13 arrests, a number of cancelled talks and lectures and, well, fame or infamy depending on who you ask. In 1996, Yourofsky founded ADAPTT, or Animals Deserve Protection Today and Tomorrow, an organisation that places a focus on action and education to effect change. You can find the website linked in the description below. The following year, he raided a mink farm in Canada and released over 1,500 of them, an act which landed him 77 days in a maximum security prison, most likely due to the $500,000 worth of damage done to the farm. Yourofsky said at the time that being locked away in a confined space only helped further his empathy for the animals. In 2002, Yourofsky stepped down as the president of ADAPTT and became the national lecturer for PETA, an organisation he has since criticised for its focus on getting negative attention from the media, exploitation of women, and other questionable methods. Yourofsky has, understandably, as an outspoken activist, made his fair share of ripples in the pond. He told a reporter he supported the deaths of animal testers in ALF-related arson. A lecture was cancelled at East Tennessee State University after a member of staff had left a stack of pro-animal testing leaflets outside the lecture room. This promptly led to a heated exchange, followed by the cart of leaflets no longer having any leaflets on and being on the other side of the room. He famously said in an interview on Israeli television that you couldn't find any vegan rapists in prison. He's also often criticised by meat eaters and even some vegans over his aggressive style of activating. Let me get back to you on that one. Gary's position on people who consume animal products has always been something of a zero tolerance policy. With him stating in the past that if you support the suffering and death of animals by eating meat or wearing leather, for example, then you should have the same conditions those animals went through passed on to yourself. He's also been widely criticised for using terms like rape and making direct comparison to the Holocaust and concentration camps in his work. Activistigating. His position has been seen by many as one of smug superiority, and it's not hard to find online accounts of people who find him a potential threat to the cause. In his goodbye post, Yourofsky stated that his tank is completely empty, and that aside from assisting students and responding to emails, he no longer possesses the patience or precision to teach. He goes on to say that he no longer believes that veganism can reduce the atrocious acts that people inflict on each other, and that as a species we're kind of a lost cause. He does say that fortunately vegan lifestyles weren't created for us, they exist to reduce and eliminate the depraved things we do to animals and the environment. He also retracts his no vegan rapist comment before detailing his grievances with people who fight for the freedoms and rights of groups and demographics of humans but continue to contribute to the suffering of the animals through the eating and wearing animal products. Personally, I think this is sad news, but completely understandable. A lot of people don't realise how difficult it can be to be a vegan. Not the food, that's the easy part. The hard part is living and working in a world where actually the abject suffering of animals is normalised and you can see it all around you. You can see the people living the exact same way you did before you turned vegan. It is hard dealing with stupid questions, not the legit ones, the genuinely stupid ones. Fighting against myths and the stereotypes, putting up with criticisms and arguments from people who don't know and don't really want to know or won't believe the truth. Friends and family not taking you seriously when you explain the reasons. It takes a toll. And Gary's been doing this for, what, 18 years? This is, so I'm gonna break it down for you. So pull up a chair, pull up a seat, okay. Here's my secret to success, sort of. When people become vegan, not just in diet but sensibility, many fall into a way of doing things. They shrink back, they avoid situations and circumstances where their lifestyle falls in the firing line. These people will often just not tell people about their veganism for as long as possible, which can stop you from developing relationships with other people. Also, there are a number of vegans who don't fully engage with the lifestyle, and these are the ones that often drop back into consuming meat and dairy and so on. The trick to doing this, to talking to non-vegans about the benefits and necessities of the diet in a constructive way, is to straddle those two worlds. It would be so easy just to avoid meat eaters and their opinions, but in order to frame it in a way for people who don't immediately subscribe to it, you have to work to that framework of thinking and look at the situation as a vegan and as a non-vegan. I know this channel is new and shiny, but I've been talking to people about veganism for, well, pretty much straight away after I became a vegan myself, and you kind of have to speak to people like you would need to have been spoken to before you turned. It is hard, it is really hard. For example, I generally avoid using the term rape when discussing how cows are impregnated for farming. It is rape, absolutely, it's rape, dictionary definition, and in the dairy industry they actually refer to the device they strap the cow into as a rape rag. But I don't call it rape when talking to non-vegans because it's so loaded with connotations and pulls a very immediate emotional reaction that the use of the term becomes either the focus of the conversation or it becomes a defense, a reason not to listen because the speaker is being extreme or sensationalist. I actually don't agree with using terms like Holocaust, as Yourofsky does, for that very reason. What Yourofsky did, however, is take the facts of the situation and take it directly to non-vegans. In his time activing, he's delivered over 2,600 lectures to over 60,000 non-vegans. He's gone on television to confront the talking heads of the industries he's fighting against directly. It takes a lot to do that, and being continually exposed to the other side of the coin is exhausting. At the end of the day, Gary Yourofsky has done an incredible job opening so many people up to veganism, and doing so with education that's the reason he's one of my role models and a genuine card-carrying vegan legend. Gary, if you're watching this, you have my absolute respect and thanks for all you've done. And here on Keep a Vegan, we will continue fighting the good fight and do our part to end the vicious cycle. I've linked ADAPTT as well as a version of his infamous speech down in the description. If you've not seen it, I really recommend it. I saw it after already going vegan, but it certainly gets the fires burning. For more videos, click the little subscribe button and leave a comment below. What do you think of the news? Are you a fan of Gary Yourofsky, of his work, or do you think that there are better ways to go about it? Let me know down below. Also, if you want to support Keep a Vegan, beyond liking and sharing and all that tasty goodness, we also have a Patreon. Patreon is a social media site where you can basically donate to the show and get awesome stuff in return. Click the link to check it out. Activistigating. That's it, I'm calling it. Activistigating. That's our word. That's the word. That's a new word. That's the verb for activist. Activistigating. I gave you a word. I mean, that's got to be worth just going to Patreon for that.